a little bit further to the concept of numbers. This $50 trillion for a million gold card, gold visa, gold, whatever you're going to call this new green card that you're just going to give to people who are wealthy. Don't bother whether they're useful or decent or good people. Just wealth is what's important, Mr. Trump. When you give $4.5 trillion worth of tax cuts to wealthy people, they don't spend it in the economy of your country. They do spend it in different ways. They do, but typically they put it away. They put it into savings. They put it into investments, and certainly there's some drivers to the economy by having more investment capital go in. But if you look at where those people invest, it's actually not in the heartland. They're not investing in anything that's going on in Nebraska or Iowa or Idaho, or outside of condo complexes, even Florida. They're investing in the global market, which presently does not include, if you're looking for an advantage in your investment strategy, doesn't include investing in anything in the United States, because you're actually destroying the economy. Anyway, that's beside the point. But if you give poor people money, you know what poor people do with money? They spend it. They spend it in the local economy. There's a multiplier factor. Economists will talk about it. You wouldn't understand that because you have no concept of economics. But the multiplier effect of money going back through the economy is actually quite impressive. And when you give people who are low or middle or even middle to high income families bonus money, whether it's through taxes, whether it's through incentives, they spend it. And typically they spend it on things that drive the economy. They renovate their houses. They buy new cars. They buy clothes. They buy furniture. They buy stuff that's retail, that's local to where they are. Whereas the wealthy people don't. They don't. That's just the way of the world. So when you give $4.5 trillion in tax cuts to your wealthy friends, and then invite more wealthy people by selling them these $5 million gold visa green card things that you've devised in your just addled brain, you're looking at increasing the population of the United States by 1 million people who don't work the jobs that are required, who aren't going to pick fruit, do labor, get in the trades, build houses, work on manufacturing floors, do the things that right now are required to keep the American economy moving. They're not going to drive trucks for you. But the rest of the world who's trying to leave their countries of birth to go to the United States for a better future, they want to work, and they're willing to do anything to make it in the United States or Canada. And I can only speak from the Canadian perspective now. I'm not in the States, and I won't be in the States in the near future. I watch in my hometown the number of immigrants. I'm in a small town in Northern Ontario that I grew up in, actually, that was a fairly homogeneously white town as I was growing up, and is now a very multicultural town. We have had an influx of immigrants from Southeast Asia, and I noticed a lot of things, one of which is that our we have a greater variety of restaurants serving a greater variety of food, and it's awesome. But when I walk into places of business, I see people working, and the number of people from Southeast Asia who are working is incredible. And why is that? Because they want to work. They show up for work. They don't come up with excuses to not work. They show up, and they're hungry. And man, I've been hungry. And when you're hungry, you work. So you're sending away all the people who are hungry, who want to work, and you're inviting in a whole bunch of rich fucks like you to get fat. What a plan. Give them more tax breaks. Give the fat rich people more. That's the way to do it. That's what America was. No, that's actually not what America was built on. And that's not why any of my family who left Canada went to the United States and succeeded. That's not why they succeeded. They succeeded because they went there hungry and they worked their asses off, and so did their families, and they built from there. But you keep living in your little dream world of wealth, rich, and propriety. You're a moron, Mr. Trump. And the people who are supporting you at the top level in the government, the senators, the House members, your vice president, your Elon Musk pet. What a joke. You guys, get a spine and try to remember what America is actually all about, because you've forgotten.